Peace, everyone. I trust all is well. I've always asked myself, why wait? Why wait to have what I want to have in this life? Why wait for a later time? Why delay on experiencing the things that I desire in this life? And this question is a valuable one that inevitably leads you to an even better question. An even better question to ask yourself, which is, why wait to become the person who is capable of having those experiences, attaining those things that you wish to have? Ultimately, we are all going to be required to become the person that is able to have that which we desire. And this is usually posing far more of a challenge than fantasizing about all of the many things that we wish to acquire in this life, that we wish to experience in this life. And as I learned this through experience, through enjoying my life, as if I have already become this person, as if I were becoming this person, right? Because you're always going to become into something. You're always going to be transforming. You're always going to be changing. And you could be changing for the better. You could be changing for the worse. You could be moving in the trajectory towards the things that you actually want to experience, towards the version of yourself that you actually respect, or you could be moving in the trajectory that is not that. So why would we do that? Why would we move in that trajectory? This is where I feel genuinely called to tell you that your wisdom, your love, is something that nobody can ever take away from you. That thing that makes you you, your you-ness. You are unlike any other. And it's hard to see that as one scatters about trying to be like everybody else, trying to sound like everybody else, trying to be pleasing to others. We're all assuming roles and positions or rebelling against the roles that have been imposed upon us. And it is all unnecessary insofar as you deem it so, right? Because you're you. So you have your reasons as to why you embody attributes of people that you admire. You have your reasons for being that rebellious soul, right? So it's not to discourage that behavior overall, but it's to be aware of the difference, the subtle differences, the subtle distinctions that often go overlooked. I feel like this is a part of my gift, of noticing the subtleties. I made a decision for myself, and this was one of solitude. This was one of rejection, which I've spoken about. A graceful rejection, It took time to get to that place. At first, it was the rebellious rejection. At first, it was the resentful rejection, the silent resentment built up within me. Because for whatever reason, I refused to be in my own authenticity. I was incapable of believing in myself. I was incapable of knowing my value, of being intimate with my worth, getting to know myself, getting to know why I value myself, and therefore felt truly that I could provide value for others. And for me personally, that required solitude. Not complete and utter isolation, but ample time to be in my own energy and to understand that when you go out in the world and you come face to face with your reflection, it is your responsibility to have boundaries. It is your responsibility to be aware, to observe, but to not absorb all of the energy. And this can be more challenging for some of us because of the soul that we are, because of our gift, because of our natural inclination. So we have our mediators, we have our deep thinkers, we have our silent empaths, we have our outspoken and expressive souls, all kinds of beings. We have people who are a mix of all of these. Why else would so many things be relatable to you? So many different kinds of beings that you come into contact with, whether it be on the internet or whether it be in the world. There is some level of relatability that you may find yourself having. Even so, even if there is some level of relatability, this is not our cue to completely open ourselves. So, not having these leaks in our energy, we'll say. You observe. You see things for what they are. And you remain in your individuality. I don't know what that looks like for you, though. Like I said, my experience was that of solitude and being in nature. You spend enough time doing nothing or observing, allowing yourself the space required to process the vast experience that we're having. There's so many intricacies to it. As simple as it might look, as far back as those memories might have been. The ones that either inspired you or scarred you. It is a deep experience. It is not always as simple as we would like it to be, as simple as it actually can be. So the space that nature gives you, the insight that it brings to you, the transformation that it inspires, that it elicits, that has been my remedy. That has been my medicine. But this was not devoid of my action, of the things that I did within myself, that I knew, that I learned to do, so that that quality of transformation could occur. It's not as simple as just, going outside and laying down and staring off into space. It's genuinely understanding that I have no desire to wait for a later time to live a life that is fulfilling to me, to experience myself as I envision myself to be at my best. Have you ever questioned what that looks like for you right now? Not for you in the past, not for you how it could have been, but how it can be now. How you sense within your heart it should be now. Becoming that person that is capable of holding the energy that you desire to hold, which manifests as the abundance that you wonder why you haven't attained, or that you pray for consistently, or that you resent because perhaps you can only see within the frame of mind that you have gotten the short end of the stick and there is no support, and all of those narratives that we might create when we are hurt. And it's okay to be hurt. I do see that this is a part of the process, although we must let it go. We must find a way to accept. And what helped me accept was this realization, was understanding that you will not receive your abundance until you feel within yourself that you are the person who has that abundance. It is not about the things. It is not about the external. It was never about that. It could not be about that. No matter how hard you try. And you can create so much abundance from that framework. That's the wild thing about it. But often that's a path of pain. The type of pain that is detrimental to the body, right? To the physical body, to the mental body, to the emotional body, to the spiritual body, the energetic body, right? Which is all one body. One of the most transformative practices that I've been able to process and learn with and from is Hatha Yoga. And do you hear the word? I never studied with an instructor or even read extensively about Hatha Yoga. But what I did do was practice every single day for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It was a non-negotiable for me. As soon as I opened my eyes, I would go straight into this 1.5 to 2 hour hatha yoga flow. I memorized it. I watched a video on YouTube, which is readily available to all of us. And the instructor, he seemed like the real deal, right? There's all kinds of yoga instructors and people who are teaching. And so what I wanted was the real and authentic version of what that might be and my idea of it, right? So I did my best to find that. This man never spoke a single word as to how to do it. All he did was the opening, which was a set of mantras such as peace, and it's a prayer. It's an opening prayer, and I'm not even sure, probably Sanskrit. And so I memorized this. There was a portion where we did a set of breath work exercises and then straight into the flow. You know, it's the sun salutation. I really don't even know. All I know is that although I did not intellectualize this process, I mastered that particular flow. And the transformation, undeniable. The way that I felt in my body, what it did to help me heal in my body, to address the stored memories within different parts of my body that were holding me back on every level. I felt liberated. I felt more attractive. I noticed very clearly that the beings around me could feel me and sense me, and I could sense them. A mutual respect. So, doing this every single day for many years, and doing so in harmonious environments, next to the ocean, on the cliffs, deep in the mountains, sometimes in my room, random living rooms, any place that I was, did not matter where I was. It did not matter what I was doing. I always did this no matter what, without any excuse. It was done. And this truly transformed my perspective about what is possible. It eliminated all of my limitations, the ones that were present at that time in my mind. If it's too cold to do it, it's too late to do it. Because sometimes in the morning when I wake up, I could not have possibly done it right at that moment. Life happens. But that does not mean that the work does not happen. You observe a shift in the reality for whatever reason. Could be because of a fault of your own or not, but you adjust accordingly. And I found myself doing this flow in the middle of the night. I found myself doing this flow in very strange places. I found myself sneaking off, away from the crowd, away from people. Well, don't you want to be with us? Don't you want to hang out with us, Jocelyn? You always do this. Why are you doing this? Because it is a non-negotiable. It is a priority for my own sanity and for my own well-being. This showed me the bliss of my inner world, the intelligence of the human body and the environment around me. And it left me wanting more. It left me wanting less of the world, less of all of these attainments and these achievements, and more of my own being. And so this inspired me to start diving deep into other avenues, meditations, different sorts of martial arts. And so the practice deepens. And at that point, you realize that there is not enough hours in the day to do all of the wonderful things that would help me align to being and becoming the person that I was required to become so that I may deliver this value to you. Why? Because I absolutely love it. Because it was my natural inclination. All of these things came to me naturally. It was not by force. What was by force was forcing myself to be happy when I knew I wasn't. Forcing myself to eat things that I knew made me feel terrible. Forcing myself to go places that I knew gave me anxiety. Forcing myself to please people that did not even care to wonder what my best interest was. And when it was expressed, it was not at all about what actually mattered to me from a need and desire base, but of why I was wrong for not giving them what they wanted, when in fact they themselves did not know what they themselves wanted. So truly, you are worth it. You are valuable. You have your own path. You have your own natural inclination. As you open yourself to this, you will see all of this start to come to you naturally, if it is truly in alignment. So I trust that was helpful, and I encourage you to become that person that is capable of doing, having all that you desire.